G'day guys, Paul here from the Hook and The Cook. Welcome back to our channel. Today I'm after that elusive bass. I'm after the big one. I'm trying to get one well over 40 centimeters today. I'm going to be using soft plastics, and I'm going to use larger soft plastics to sort of target them larger bass rather than catching just these small ones that are in the schools. So come and join me and we'll see how we go. I think one of the most important things is to have a good sound around. I've just found a nice patch of bass here. You can see some fish on the sounder. And that's the important thing where they're schooling up like this, and especially in wintertime they school right up like this and you get some really good bass amongst them. So I'm using a larger plastic with a large jig head just to make sure I'm targeting them larger bass underneath. You don't get quite as many bites, but when you do get the bite it's exciting. So there we go, there's a few fish there, so I'll give it a little bit of a crack here and see how we go. I've got a nice fish on here, guys. I've only got 6 pound line on, so I've got to be careful. It's just taking a soft plastic. Down here a little bit. Trying to find my net. So that's a nice bass. Around the back of the boat. A bit of a bigger run than the ones I had the other day, that's for sure. Here we go, here's the leader. Oh, he's a beautiful bass. He's a cracker. Don't want to lose him. Oh, damn! Right, I've got a nice fish on here. I'm not going to lose this one. Last one I lost, hopefully. These are much better fish. Play him out, I've only got 6 pound on. Coming up now to the surface. Good fish, good bass. Oh yes, guys. Oh, now that's a bass. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, over the moon. That's a little fatty. Now, they're the ones I was after the other day. Might not be able to hear me with this mask on, but I'm pretty excited. What a great bass, and it's loaded at the moment on the sounder. Oh, look at that puppy. Hey, wow. Woo! Absolutely engulfed that that plastic. It's gone all the way down. Oh, I'm over the moon. Look at that for a fish. Oh, I have to measure this one because he's a good fish. He'd have to be up near the 40s, I'd say. So that's the type of fish that we normally get in here. But you've got to be patient. Patience pays off. Over the moon. I just lost one very similar to this, but I reckon the last one was a bit bigger than this. I was messing around trying to get the bloody camera on and should have just landed the fish like I did with that one. Okay, let's measure this guy. I'll just show you. Now that's what fish look like on the sounder. Look at those black patches there. Beautiful. Okay, let's measure this guy up. Okay. Okay, so he's a cracking fish. Okay, so he's 43, almost touching 45 if I really wanted to stretch him, but I'm not going to stretch him. 43. So over the moon, guys. We'll get this guy back in the water. Hopefully get this, look at that. All on the right hand side. Absolutely crackers. Let's get back into it. The moon about that guy. Now, let's just swim her. Now, they don't breed in here, guys, these fish. Back down to the school. Wow, look at that. Look at these guys streaking up. Absolutely over the moon about that one. Let's see if we can get another one. Can't complain. I've got a 43, and I reckon I lost it. Oh, it would have been up there near the high 40s anyway. I'm not calling it for a 50, but it would have been fairly close. That's them fish I could see a minute ago. So many fish, but they're so hard to catch sometimes, and they're not up for it. I spoke to one guy, he's been out since 5 o'clock this morning and he hasn't caught a thing. He wasn't too happy, so I can't complain at the moment. There's a nice fish, guys. Oh, I'll just loosen that drag a little bit. Good quality fish today. Don't know how big he's going to be, whether he's as big as that last one we got. It was 43. I don't think he's quite as big. Still a good fish. Oh, nice fish. There you go, as you can see him. What a beautiful colour. Wow. Beautiful colour in that sun. Let's get him in. I put a little spinner on that, on the soft plastic. There's a reason for me to do that, is because they were being a bit tentative. So let's see if we can get him in and show you what it looks like. Just walk backwards a bit here. There we go. Beautiful. Don't think he's quite as big as the last one, but definitely a good size. And I put a little spinner on the side of the soft plastic, so hopefully we'll get a few more. So there we go, folks. 40 centimeters to the fork. This guy not quite as big as the last one, but still a good fish. And let's get him back in the water. Get a quick photograph. So there we go, beautiful bass. Come on, buddy. There he goes. Cool. So that's two fish over 40. Well, one's 40, one was 43. That's pretty good. And let's see if we can get some more, eh? I'll show you what we were using a little bit later on. I'll probably do that in the shed where it's a little bit not quite as windy. Show you what gear we're using, and just go through a few of the little techniques. All right, guys, let's see if we can get another one. As promised, I wanted to show you what I was using today. I'll be honest with you, it was about 4 months ago when I filmed that clip. Just been going through some old footage and seen it, and thought to myself, whoops, daisy, I forgot to do the tackle talk on that. So what I'll do is I'll talk about some of the tackle that we've been using. So I was catching the bass on anything that looks very similar to this. So anything with a nice paddle tail, okay, around about that 80 mil sort of look. These are good as well. So anything that's got that. I've actually been using some of these squidgy prawns, these 80 mil prawns as well. They've got that great tail. These are new from Squidgy, so I've been using them as well, having a lot of success, not just on bass, but on flathead as well. And that's the paddle tail there. Now the way we fish these lures, or plastics, is what we do is we cast them straight out and we use a heavy jig head. Now on the smaller ones, like this one here, I'll probably put on a 1/4 ounce jig head. Okay, now a really good guy that I met, he gave me a few of these actually when I was out on the water with him, and he does a lot of sort of bass competitions. A guy called Danny Brooks, great fisherman, and he showed me this technique, and basically we put them on nice and straight like so. So they have to be really, really straight. Now that looks quite short, but the reason why we do that is this is the original plastic, or you know, it's not the same color obviously, but that's the plastic that you know, that's the size that it comes in. What I've done is we've cut these down, probably taken around about 3 rings off there with a pair of scissors, and then rigged it up. It's when the bass have been real tentative. Certain days they can be very, very tentative on the actual on the lure. They'll come up and just nibble at it. You know you're getting bites, but you're not quite hooking up. So that's when we shorten that plastic up. In the clip, I was using a 3/4 ounce jig head. Also matched that up with this bait junkie lure. and they've got to be put on really straight. Now, anything that has that sort of paddle tail that's a little bit bigger in plastic tends to get the bigger fish, as you saw on the clip. And what we do, as I said, we just cast that straight out, give it a couple of hops, and then wind it back really slowly, and I'm talking really slowly. Now, you'll get the smaller fish come up maybe picking at it, but you'll get the big fish and they smack it, and it's super exciting when you do that. You might not get quite as many hookups, but when you do, they're decent fish, or tend to be decent fish. Also, I've got a Z-Man here that works really well, but anything with that paddle tail, that real sort of paddle tail. If you have a look at this squidgy, these are brand new actually from Squidgies, but look at that paddle tail, the way it just flicks around, and it just basically goes really slowly, and they come up and absolutely smash it. And these have been working really well in Noosa River too. Now the rods that I'm using is, I've got my Rack Raider rod. As you all know, I love this Rack Raider rod as he hits the fan with it. It's a 2 to 5 kilo Rack Raider rod. You could go a little bit lighter, but I tend to use this not just for bass, use it for flathead, chasing jacks, trevally, all sorts of stuff with this. You know, so it's basically a good all-round rod. I've just grabbed myself this Christmas, which I'm pretty excited about, is this new Anarchy rod. And this is only a 2 to 4 kilo stick. I've just bought a new kayak. It's a Hobie Outback kayak, and I'll be doing quite a few clips off that. Absolutely love my kayak fishing, and this is a 2 to 4 kilo stick which I'll be using on that. What I've done there, I've matched it up with a Nasky 2,500, and what I've put on there is 4-pound fluorocarbon all the way through. It just saves me tying FG knots. The other advantage I'm finding of it is when I'm going out and fishing places like Noosa, Mooloolaba, where it's super clear water, the braid tends to sometimes can leave a little bit of a sort of a, how can I say, a shadow over the top, whereas this fluorocarbon doesn't. I'm not too sure at the moment. It's a little bit of an experiment. I'm hoping, I just want to see what the hookup rate's like. Anyway guys, that's what I've been using. I hope you've enjoyed the clips this year. 2022 I'll be out on the Hobie chasing lots of fish. I will be doing a lot of bread and butter species, and also cooking up a few bread and butter species right there on the Hobie, or go out and cook it up wherever we catch it, depending on the weather. Scotty's up here at the moment as well. He's going to be hopefully catching up. He's on holidays, and the weather, as you can see behind me, is not looking great. Wind's terrible, so we've been finding it a little bit difficult to get out and go and chase some fish, but he's up here for another couple of weeks hopefully, and we'll go and chase some fish together, which is great to catch up with him. Anyway guys, from Scotty and myself, we wish you a happy new year, and we'll look forward to seeing you in 2022. All right guys, see you later, and tight lines.